Today, we're tackling a really significant piece of legislation, the EU AI Act.
Absolutely. It's often called the world's first comprehensive legal framework for AI.
Right, and it's said to really change how artificial intelligence is developed, how it's used, not just in Europe, but, probably globally.
Definitely has global implications.
So we're diving into some analysis from landmark legislation today, trying to cut through the complexity and figure out what this act really means for you. Okay, so let's unpack this. The big thing seems to be this unique risk-based classification system they've introduced. It's quite granular, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's tiered. So right at the top, you have systems classified as unacceptable risk.
And those are just banned.
Outright banned, yes.
Okay.
Because they're seen as clear threats to fundamental rights, democratic values.
What kind of things fall into that?
This is where it gets really interesting. It includes things like government-led social scoring, judging citizens based on behavior.
Wow.
And real-time biometric identification in public places by law enforcement. Though there are very, very narrow exceptions for serious crimes.
Okay, tight exceptions.
Very tight. And these specific bans, they actually kicked in pretty recently, February 2nd, 2025. It's about drawing a clear line early on.
Right, setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's unacceptable risk. But what about AI that's, deeply embedded in critical areas? High stakes, but maybe not banned. That's high risk.
Exactly. That's the next tier down, high-risk AI.
And the Act mentions things like robust data governance and human oversight for these. What does it actually mean in practice? Is it just an off switch?
Oh, it's much more involved than just an off switch. For these systems, think critical infrastructure, education, hiring, even law enforcement applications. Data governance means really ensuring the data used to train the AI is high quality.
High quality how? Less bias.
Precisely. Relevant and as free of bias as possible to avoid discriminatory outcomes. And human oversight, well, that's about ensuring a human can always monitor, intervene, and, crucially, override the AI's decision if needed.
So humans stay in the loop.
Meaningfully in the loop, yes. Especially for safety-critical things like medical devices or maybe autonomous driving tech, plus strong risk management, robust cybersecurity. It's a whole package.
Got it. That makes sense. And then it scales down from there.
It does. Next, you have limited risk systems. Think chatbots or deepfakes.
Okay, so less stringent rules.
The key word here is transparency. The main requirement is just to make sure you, the user, know you're interacting with an AI or that the content you're seeing is AI generated.
So no manipulation.
That's the goal, prevent manipulation. And then right at the bottom, you have minimal or no risk systems.
Like what? Spam filters?
Yeah, or video games, basic spam filters. These face essentially no specific extra rules under this act. The idea is not to stifle innovation where the risk is, well, negligible.
Okay, those risk categories seem pretty clear. But the Act also addresses something that feels newer in terms of regulation. These general-purpose AI models, GPAI,
Yeah.
the large language models lots of us interact with now.
Right, and that's a fascinating part. How do you regulate a model that isn't built for just one specific task but can be adapted for, well, almost anything?
Yeah, their impact is so broad.
Exactly. So that introduces specific rules just for GPAI models, especially the really powerful ones they term systemic.
Systemic meaning.
High impact, basically. Big reach. For these, there are obligations around transparency, what data was it trained on, providing technical documentation for developers who build on top of them, and, critically, copyright compliance for the training data.
The data copyright issue. That's huge.
It is. And these rules, along with their own penalties, they largely came into effect on August 2nd, 2025. It acknowledges that the foundational model itself needs scrutiny, not just how it's used downstream.
And you mentioned penalties. They sound pretty hefty.
They can be, yes. For GPAI noncompliance, fines can go up to 15 million or 3% of global annual turnover. That's regardless of the risk classification of its final use.
3% of global turnover. Okay, that's significant.
And for violations related to those unacceptable risk uses we talked about, the banned ones, it jumps even higher, up to 35 million or 7% of global annual turnover.
7%. But, for a massive global tech company, is even 35 million a real deterrent? Or is it just factored in as a cost of doing business?
That's a fair question. The flat amount, maybe less so for the giants, but the percentage of global turnover, that's 7%.
Yeah.
That's the real sting. For a company making billions, 7% is potentially billions in fines. It's not just pocket change, it signals the EU is serious about enforcement.
So it has teeth.
It definitely seems intended to. And connecting this back, the Act really hammers home core principles. Meaningful human control over AI, transparency, traceability, ensuring, when AI is making decisions about you. And to manage all this, they've set up a new EU AI office.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah, and it's supported by a European AI board, plus a scientific panel. Their job is crucial. Guide implementation, enforce the rules, and importantly, advise on new risks as the tech keeps evolving. It's built to try and adapt.